Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday. Week 6 rolls on. We're excited to be here. Are you caffeinated? Because we sure are. So let's get to it, guys. Last night was a fun-filled Friday night in college football. What did you guys watch? What did you guys observe? Any thoughts, comments, complaints? Because I got at least one complaint. So, Tim, good morning. All right, Tim, the floor is yours, buddy. Go for it.
I guess Mormons don't care if they cover the spread or not. So, and I say, oh, well, BYU, they commit less turnovers. They commit less penalties. Someone forgot to tell them that too. I guess last night they had more penalties, more turnovers, and they can't cover. And they still, won by a couple of scores, but they could not cover. So, yeah, such is my life. Backdoor covers suck. So.
You're usually good for a couple of years, so you get the one out of the way. You're just.
Well, this is my second one, so
all right. So then you're done. You're done. No more backdoor covers for you. You've used your maximum allowable per season.
My goodness, 0-2 for backdoor covers. Nice.
Pete, good morning out there in Michigan. How are you? And did you notice anything or would like to complain about anything from Friday night?
I'd like to complain about the fact that I can't find a win to save my life here. That's what I'd like to complain about, because I did not expect scoring of that magnitude by both teams last night. So clearly my math is off for something here. So I am hoping to resurrect myself today and kind of redeem myself. But yeah, that was I just did not expect that. I mean, the first half looked okay. West Virginia wasn't doing much, but it kind of turned on me. And once that started, and the turnovers and all of that were not helping my case at all. So it was just one of those games that went the wrong direction on me. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting to watch West Virginia. I mean, we mentioned earlier when we were talking before this, right? Their 11th quarterback or whatever. I mean, we're going to see them in 2 weeks. So it'll be interesting to see them live. So I'm looking forward to seeing them play. But anyway, I need to find some wins today. That's what my thing says. I need some wins.
Yeah.
Well, I have a worse record than both of you guys, so don't feel too bad. But West Virginia's quarterback, I hope that dude's got some good health insurance, because I don't know how many QB draws they ran or whether he just wasn't looking to pass the ball. But that poor guy's going to get killed unless Rich Rod comes up with something a little different offensively. My one gripe, and I noticed a lot, Tim, you and I used to start complaining about the jet sweep at the 1 yard line, and our favorite play to complain about is 4th and 1, and you line up in the shotgun. Has anybody in 5 weeks of college football seen one successful wide receiver screen? Do they not teach wide receiver blocking at all? Because I saw Western Kentucky do 3 of them yesterday, and they got a combined 0 yards on all 3. I think that might be my new least favorite play in football, because I have yet to see one work. So I don't know.
One more little gripe. I hope it's their nicknames, but BYU quarterback, his name is Bear. He has a brother named Tiger. I don't know if I heard that correctly. Right. That's another gripe. Just for that. Well, let's move on.
That's legit. Aren't they all related to that guy Hank, which last I checked is not the name of an animal, but maybe he's got a nickname like Sloth. I don't believe he could run that much. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah. Anyway,
it's terrible.
Bear, Tiger, no.
But anyway, Drew is in. Drew, congrats on your Notre Dame -4.5 last week. Probably the easiest game any of us will have this year. So that was awesome. Go Irish. Other than the whole wide receiver screen thing, at least I already have surpassed my win total from last week. Thank you, San Diego State, for actually displaying offense. Didn't expect that, but good times. 2 unit play hits, and probably lose everything today. But anyway, all right, man, it's Saturday. Conference play is pretty much in full swing. We don't have the marquee matchups that we had last week, but we still got some good ones. So let's go to our Big Ten dude and the Big Blue dude. So, Pete, start us off. Wisconsin at Michigan. What are we looking at here?
Thank you, sir. I hesitate to make a play at this point. But anyway, so over-under in this game is 43.5. Michigan has not been lighting the scoreboard up a whole lot. Clearly with a young quarterback, they are leaning into what they were going to do anyway, which is run the ball and play defense. That's what they do. Playing against Wisconsin, who kind of does the same thing. It's screaming under to me. That said, I don't trust myself at this point, but it's screaming under to me, even though the number's relatively low. But I see something like a, I don't know, 27-10 or something would not be surprising to me in this game. I expect that Michigan they better get up in this game. And if they're going to do that, which I expect they will do, they're going to slow it down. They're going to run the ball. Of course, that defense is going to do what it does. So, I wouldn't expect a really high scoring output from either team, to be honest with you. I don't think Michigan's actually capable of scoring at a very high level at the moment. But something like 20-7-10 or something like that would not be shocking to me. So I do like the under here at 43.5.
Tim,
like
thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know how Wisconsin puts up more than 10. You're being generous, giving Wisconsin 10. This guy, I hate to say it, and I don't think we like to see people lose their jobs or anything, but there could be a handful of coaches updating their resumes tomorrow morning. Luke Fickell could very well be one of them. We're on year 3, and he has done nothing but run this program into the ground. Actually, he hasn't run at all, which is the problem. He's passed this program into the ground, but
he's not the right fit there. I mean, he didn't fit. His style didn't fit in the first place. I know they were probably trying to change it up and do something different. It's not working. It's like when Michigan brought Rich Rod in back in the day. It was just a totally different style. Doesn't match the identity or culture of the organization or the school. So I would not be surprised if they're looking for a new head coach after this year.
All right, graphics guru, what's next? That's me. All right, University of Kentucky at the Georgia Bulldogs. This is one of mine here. This is mostly a fade on what Kentucky is doing, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They've had Zach Calzada and who's this other guy, Cutter Boley. Neither one has been pretty successful at QB. Their wide receivers are really, really lacking in skill and experience. So this team has got no pass game to speak of. They can run with a little bit of success, but as much as we bash the Georgia defense for they can't get any pressure, as it's not the defense of the 2022-2023 team, they're really good at stopping the run. So Kentucky shouldn't be able to pass or run in this game. And with Georgia laying 20.5, this could be a game, a get right spot for Georgia here. I do worry that there may be a little bit of letdown after that loss to Bama. But the other side of that is, well, they've got a loss. They're going to need to beat up some teams that they have the ability to beat on. This should be one of those games here. So I'm looking for something maybe like 38-7, something like that. This should be a get right spot for Georgia. Gunnar Stockton hasn't thrown any picks yet this year. I think they are going to get some pressure here. So I took the 20.5. This has been a 20.5 most of the week. I don't know what it is now as we're just under 3 hours from kickoff, but as long as it stays 20.5 here, I'm rolling with this. I'm going another 2 units here on Georgia minus the 20.5.
A double unit.
Well, we're on such a roll with the double unit from San Diego State. I mean, I might as well blow it all in one game and get back to what I'm used to doing. So, yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, Drew was on San Diego State, too.
Oh, thank you, Drew, for the faith after my 0-3 last week for getting back on board with me, man. But, yeah, that was a nice cash. That was almost as easy a cover as what you had with Notre Dame last game. So, yeah, let's go, Georgia. Screw Kentucky. They're terrible. Any thoughts on that game, guys?
Love the bet. I mean, I think I don't see how Georgia doesn't absolutely pound them here. I mean, I cannot imagine anything other than that. I was looking at over-unders 48.5. I was considering the under just because I don't think Kentucky's going to do much of anything here. But then again, every time I say that now, the team that I say is going to do nothing scores 3 touchdowns plus. So I stay back away from it here because it just, somehow I will Kentucky to win by betting the under here. But, yeah, I mean, if Georgia doesn't pound them, there's a problem, right? I mean, They need to get right in this game. They need to pound them. They should pound them. And so, yeah, I could see them winning by easy 30 points here. That would not be surprising at all.
Agreed.
Tim, I know you love you some Georgia Bulldogs. Any thoughts?
I mean, I kind of was pretty much mirroring with what Peter just said here. Well, I don't think Kentucky's going to do much of anything either. But that being said, the way Iowa's been going when we didn't think they're going to score and they turned into the greatest show on turf. But, yeah, I'm in the same boat with Pete. I was thinking about
Stockton will throw his first pick like 3 minutes into the game, and Kentucky will get up 7-0
three
after.
picks.
Oh,
Yeah, 3
okay.
picks.
That's right. I forgot. It's 2 units. It's probably 4 picks. So yeah, whatever.
Maybe I should take Kentucky in the points right now. Then I don't know.
Not a bad idea.
Please.
I don't usually
Money
get more
line.
than a 1-game winning streak. So yeah, I would fade that, I guess.
Air Force and Navy. I think this is one of yours too, Darren. Or is
No,
this
sir.
Peter's?
This is
This
Pete's.
one is one of mine. So Service Academy game over under is 52.5. Air Force can score, and they've shown it. Then again, I did enjoy watching Hawaii beat them last week, so that was kind of fun. But 52.5 is a to me, at least historically, is a pretty high number for a Service Academy. Yes, these games have evolved a little bit, but still, right? These teams, when they play each other, tend to trench down, beat the crap out of each other. It's a very physical type of game that I don't expect to be much different this time. I think the passing rate will, stay on the lower side. I think they're going to run the ball at each other quite a bit. I really think if you think about how this script is going to play out, you'll end up with something like a 24-20 kind of game. Is kind of what I'm thinking, maybe 27-17, something like that. So I think there's a pretty big cushion here on this under. I actually feel very confident about this one. I almost did 2 units on it, but I am taking the under on 52.5.
Any thoughts, Darren? I haven't seen much of either team yet so far this year.
Well, thankfully that means you haven't had to watch Air Force, so that's always prevented you from gouging your eyeballs out of your head. But yeah, like Pete said, you get a Service Academy, like yeah, you just go under and you don't even think about it. But yeah, these teams are not really changing what they're doing. Air Force is trying to air it out a little more, but that's usually because they're giving up 40+ points a game and they don't have a choice. I mean, literally, like 1 13-play, 11-minute drive is probably going to get this to the under. And these two teams are more capable of doing that than most teams in the FBS. So, yeah, I never thought I'd see a day where a Service Academy total would be in the 50s.
Exactly. I saw that. I was like, "You kidding me? That's a gift."
Yeah, the Jerry Maguire, you had me at hello when Pete was like under. Yeah, you had me at under. I mean, it just.
Don't worry. Now that we said this, they'll score a combined 65 points today. I mean, that's
49-45. Lock it in.
Something ridiculous. Yeah. At that point, I quit, so we're good.
Right. There we go.
Tim, you and I both have this game, but I'm gonna let you have the floor because my dumbass bet like 5 games this week.
Right.
So, yeah,
well,
go for it.
This is another one of those where the Florida State game with Alabama seems like it was like 5 years ago. They seem to have recovered. Big game last week. They don't turn the ball over. They don't commit a lot of penalties. And you add that to with Vanderbilt beating them last year, you just have to think all the Alabama players are like, we're going to beat these nerds into the ground. And I'm expecting I know Vanderbilt's undefeated and all that. So, but I think Alabama big here. I'm thinking probably by at least 24. I'm thinking big. They're just going to like destroy them just to make up for last year. So that's basically what I'm going on. And with the fact that Vanderbilt does commit a lot more penalties in Alabama as well. So, and the turnover ratio does favor Bama a little bit. They're both on the positive side of it. But so I guess Bama forces more. But yeah, everything to me is looking for Alabama in a romp.
I agree with you. I threw a unit on Bama at 10.5 as well. And for all you DraftKings users, just a heads up, they are offering a 33% profit boost on either this game or the Miami-Florida State game. So if you have DraftKings in your state and are interested in betting either of those two games, hop in, get that profit boost because we never turn down the chance for free money. But yeah, the only thing I'll add to everything that Tim said was my only concern with Bama is that they haven't shown that they can stop the run, and Vanderbilt and Diego, they got no problem running, and they do it successfully. So hopefully Alabama has come up with something to at least minimize the damage that Vanderbilt is going to try and do on the ground. Yeah. On the flip side, I get Vanderbilt is the talk of the college football world, and they're talking a lot of smack, and they think they're going to go in there and blow out the Tide. That's all well and good, but strength of schedule ratings, Bama's played the 5th toughest schedule so far. Vanderbilt is 107th. Don't tell me their win over South Carolina was impressive. South Carolina is down this year. They also beat Virginia Tech, but we know they're a train wreck. They've already been the first coach to get fired this year. I don't think they've seen anything like what Alabama is going to show them offensively. We talked about Stockton for Georgia not having any picks. Well, neither does Ty Simpson. I don't think he ends up with any picks after this game as well. Tim, I agree with you. And if you're a revenge spot believer, obviously that would lean you to bet Bama here. But I think this is going to be a game, along with another game I've got later on, where the underdog might get a little bit of a reality check today here. So I agree with you, Tim. I did one unit using the DraftKings profit boost on Alabama minus 10.5. Pete, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, logic would suggest that Bama should firebomb them, right? That's what you would, and the whole revenge factor and all of that. So that would not be surprising. To me, if that's true, and if we think that's going to happen, that line is really short. I would lay that all day long because that's a really short line. Now, the over-under is 55.5. I kicked this sucker around. It was just, I don't know what Vanderbilt's going to do, right? I mean, I think Alabama will probably score 40 points by themselves or something like that. So the question was, because I was thinking over, will Vanderbilt score at all, or are they going to score enough to get over that line? I thought maybe, I would be surprised if Vanderbilt keeps it close. But hey, if we're at halftime and it's a close game, it could get really interesting in the second half. So it could be a lot of fun to watch if it's close, because I think it could get a little nasty on the field. It could be interesting. So we'll see how this thing plays itself out. But I love the bet. I think that's a short line. And if what we think is going to happen actually happens, then yeah, it's a great play. So I love it.
Yeah, it opened like 13.5, 14, and then got bet all the way down to like 10.5. Went back, 11.5, and now back. I think it's 11.5 now, but Tim and I jumped on it at 10.5. The other thing, what was the total you had?
55.5 is what I saw.
Okay. The other thing to think about is, we all remember Bama was like a 24-point favorite when they rolled into Vandy and got beat. I mean, can you see Bama running up the score if they have the chance to?
Yes.
As much shit as Vanderbilt is talking.
I was leaning toward the over on that, right? Just alone. If they get up and if they dominate this game like they can, they are.
Why would they stop?
They're not going to throttle back at all. So
no. I think their team total, I thought I saw earlier in the week, like Alabama's team total 33.5. I would go over that.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I
love that. Yeah.
Well, the game last year, wasn't the game last year like 38-35 or something like that?
40-35. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And Vanderbilt's better. So, but I guess, we also Vanderbilt's probably going to try and run the ball to keep Bama's offense off the field. Maybe that slows it down. But if this game goes like the spread is telling you it should go, why would Bama just run out the clock against these guys? Sure. I mean, this seems to be like a full-blown rivalry now, so. Bama team total over, game over, Alabama covering.
Yep.
All sounds good in theory, I guess.
Right.
This is mine. Okay. I hate both these teams with a passion. But this line the other day got all the way down to Texas 4.5. And I'm like, you know what? That's too low. So I'm throwing a unit on Texas here. Do I like Arch Manning? Not at the moment. But do I like the fact that Trey Wisner is coming back and Emmett Mosley is set to make his debut at wide receiver for Texas? I do like that a lot. I know weather is supposed to be a factor here. And, everybody complained about how Arch Manning played in that week 1 game against Ohio State. But, we're big fans of box score breakdowns here. If you take a look at that game, I mean, they had, I wrote it down. They had 130 more yards than Ohio State did. Ohio State only got 11 first downs on this team. They also rushed for 166 yards, and Ohio State only had 34 carries for 77 yards. So the focus was on how bad Arch Manning looked. But the box score shows that pretty much everybody else on Texas did their job. And that was Ohio State and arguably one of the best defenses in the country. And they were moving the ball. They just couldn't get, the scores, turnovers at bad times. I believe he had a pick in there somewhere. But if you look at Florida, and maybe this is me betting with my cold black heart, but I took them in the 7.5 2 weeks ago when they were playing Miami. I have never seen a team look so bad offensively than what I saw from Florida. They got dominated on both lines of scrimmage, and they were already banged up on defense going into that game, and they ended up getting a couple more players hurt. Aaron Gates, one of their secondary guys, is now out for the season. The big one, Dijon Johnson, he got hurt. He's out for the season. So there's two guys in the secondary that are gone. Maybe Arch Manning can take advantage of that with Mosley's return. Who knows? Defensive line, Caleb Banks got hurt. He's out. Their linebacker, LJ McCray, is out. And yeah, this defense is good, but at some point, these injuries are going to have to start to catch up with Florida. Offensively, they look ass. If we're giving out a bronze ass cheek award for today, I guess we'll give it to the Florida offense. Billy Napier's press conference, he says, I am still calling the plays. Well, you can guess how that went over on Florida Twitter. They are ready to this guy's dude. I read it for like 5 minutes. I'm like, this is not okay. I'm kind of worried for Napier as he's walking into the stadium today. But yeah, this spread got down to 4.5. I was willing to play it at 6.5 where it opened, but then I saw it start to drop. I'm like, I'm going to wait. FanDuel had 4.5 the other day. Other books had 5.5. Mike, screw it. I'll lay the little bit of extra juice here. I'll lay the 4.5. We know there's always a time when Florida seems to suck it up and play great for Napier. They did it last year. I thought it was going to be 2 weeks ago against Miami. Horrible call on my part. I don't think this is going to be the game. I mean, you struggled against LSU and Miami. Well, guess who's statistically got a better defense than those two teams? Yeah, that burnt orange team right there. So, yeah, give me Texas. Lay the 4.5. I think it's 5.5 this morning. I would still go up to 6.5. I'm not saying Arch breaks out here. But he certainly could with the injuries that Florida got in the secondary. So give me a unit on Texas. Tim,
is there any way? Well, I mean, do you think if Florida wins this game, and maybe wins a couple more down the road, do you think Billy Napier keeps his job?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. So let's
because who are you going to get besides him? And I heard a lot of talk about firing James Franklin at Penn State. But the one question everybody brought up was, well, if you have somebody lined up, okay, fine, go ahead and get rid of them. But, who are you going to get? Who are you going to take?
I don't know. But I just think it'd be funny if, like, they come together, they all want to fire him, they win a few games in a row. Oh, let's keep him. Let's give one more year. If they can just keep doing that for, like, the next 5 or 10 years, that'd be lovely.
Yep.
But I don't know, Pete, have you any thoughts on the line on this one?
No, that's the caveat here. I mean, Texas is a better team. Texas should win this game. I like that line. I like laying those points. I think it's a really good play. Over-under is 42.5, which I don't like that number at all. I don't know where that's going to go. That said, right, this team has come together for this guy before. If it's going to happen, this is it, right? This is it. I mean, it's a swan song. If they get killed, which they very well could, get blown the hell off the field. If that happens, he's definitely done.
Luke Fickle.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be the end, right? But so if these players seem to like the guy a lot, I mean, so if they're going to show up at all, it will be today. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens or not. I don't actually expect that to happen. I think they're done. I think his tenure is done. I think it's time to change. To your point, I don't know where they go next, but I think he's got to go. So yeah, I fully expect. And once again, you can say the same for Texas because Texas hasn't looked great either in a team that everybody was talking about as a potential national championship team, right? Well, they're going to have to put up or shut up here too. I mean, they can't keep trudging through these games. They need to show that they can do it, and this is the time to do it, right? So it's interesting. The storyline in both. This is going to be a great game. The storyline, I think, is interesting on both sides. So, a coach fighting for his life with a team that might try to play for him, and a team that I've talked about Texas before after the Ohio State game. This is a team that continuously steps on their own freaking toes over and over and over again. They're in a position to beat good teams, and they just can't get over the hump. They can't score in the red zone. They turn the ball over. Just bad things happen. So I would not be surprised or shocked if somehow Florida pulled this off because Texas threw a late pick or did something idiotic. Would not be surprised. But I do like the bet because I think logic speaks to Texas just beating the crap out of them today. That's what I think. But anyway.
Well, going to move on to one of mine. Hey, guys, is UCLA any good this year?
Yeah, they're great.
No. So I guess Penn State ought to be able to beat them because if they were ranked, Penn State would have a problem. But as usual, I think this is my weekly fade of UCLA for the rest of the year. I think they're getting 25.5. You know, James Franklin beats up on the lesser teams, and when he plays a good team, show me. Let's see something. He hasn't won, so anyone with any kind of a ranking. So, yeah, I'm expecting just a really big win, even though I'm ignoring the 2 time zones. UCLA sucks. Penn State does not. Penn State always beats up on the littler teams. So this looks like they should be able to cover this 25.5. That's basically all the research I did. I'm fading UCLA every week the rest of the year. The floor is yours, boys.
Yeah, hard to argue that. I mean, they really, I think they're going to absolutely destroy them, and they should. And James Franklin, and he did his thing, so that's fine. That's over. And so now I expect Penn State will be back to what they are, which is really good. So I expect they will play really well. I think they're going to look good for the rest of the year. It'll be interesting if they can get in the playoff and we see what happens, especially if they end up meeting Oregon again, because I'd like to see that game again in the playoff. That would be very interesting to see. So nobody beats up James Franklin more than me, but I think his team will play for him today, and I think they'll absolutely kill him. So I love that.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, shout out to you, man. Sometimes the simplest handicaps are the best. I mean, James Franklin, he always seems to know the point spread. And again, that's why you're not going to fire him, because he beats everybody else except any team ranked in the top 5. Even the time zone thing doesn't even really worry me here either. UCLA showed a little bit of something in the second half last week, but that was Northwestern. Penn State, I'm going to say, is a little bit better. The Nico thing has not worked out. They fired their offensive coordinator this week, UCLA did. So now we've got 2 new coordinators and a new head coach. No idea what this offense is going to look like, but against the Penn State defense, it probably doesn't matter. And you're at the point in the season now where if you have a loss, you need to show this committee, who's going to come out with their rankings in whenever the first one is, like a month or so from now. You need to boat race these teams that you're supposed to boat race. So I totally expect Penn State to roll here. If I didn't have 9 bets already, Tim, I would be piling onto this one as well as your Alabama bet. This could get ugly.
Okay. Oh boy. Here we go.
All right, see you later, guys.
See you later. Have a good day.
I'm out of coffee, so I could go get another cup. You'll probably still be ranting by the time I get back.
Go brew a new pot. You got plenty of time.
Actually, this is another very, very little research done on this one as well. I've seen this meeting about 30 plus times now. So, look, if Miami wins, they're going to blow our doors off. If Florida State wins, it's going to be close. I think the first option is more likely. I took Miami, and I'd love to lose this bet. I'll be fine with it, but I think they can cover that 4.5. That's what I got them at. I know everyone says these rivalry games are close. The run defense did not look good against Virginia. Miami's offensive line, they're massive. So, this is tall order. And, it's going to be a long night. So I have to call a bottle of Jim Beam in the shot glass ready to go. I'll be fine.
Take the FSU homer thing off of your screen. You can't bet against your team in a game like this and call yourself an FSU
If
homer.
it jinxes them, hey, whatever. But
listen, you bet with your head, not with your heart. Credit to Tim. More balls than a ping pong tournament in China. Good job, buddy. Listen, I'm just going to say this. This was almost, Tim, I sent you the money line sprinkle for the week, and I went a little bit with a bigger underdog. This was the second game that I had here. I think the best thing and first, it's not that you guys couldn't stop the run. You couldn't tackle anybody. I mean, Virginia players were bouncing off you guys like a pinball machine.
Like last year.
And I think the best thing that happened to Florida State was losing that Virginia game, because now they're desperate. They don't want a second conference loss. You're going to get their best effort tonight. Does it mean they win? I have no friggin' idea, because if I did, I would bet accordingly. But I think you're going to see the best game Florida State has played since the Alabama win. They need it. They're desperate. They have the bet. We know there's a Cristobal moment waiting to happen. Mm-hmm. Would it surprise you if it's tonight? I respectfully disagree, but I will be pulling for your team. because I have Louisville winning the ACC. I need Miami to get a loss. But yeah, I think ulterior motives there, but I honestly do think you're getting Florida State's best effort tonight, because they have to. They
Well, you're
can't
going to get that anyway, but I mean, it's.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, your defense didn't look like they were really interested in tackling anybody on Virginia, but can we still trust Cristobal? Can we still trust Carson Beck? I think I can trust that Florida State's coming out with their best effort tonight.
Yep. Agreed. I agree 100%. I think you're going to see a really good showing out of your team. Whether they win or not, it's hard to tell. But I think they're gonna step up and play, and that's all you can ask, right? At the end of the day, if Miami's better, they're better. I mean, but I'd like to see Beck running for his life the whole game. That'd be fantastic. So I think you might see some of that. Over/under's 53.5. I thought seriously about the under here because I'm thinking if Florida State's going to play well, this is going to be a physical game. And I think that it could lay the going under that number. I think is very likely if Florida State's going to win this game. Once again, I'm not playing it because I just don't know, but I think it should be a lot of fun to watch, and I think it will be a close game. I do truly believe that.
Right.
Oh, all right. My last one. Here's what I think is not going to be a close game. I got on this a few days ago and it was 14.5. Some places it's already up to 16.5. I'm sorry, Mississippi State. Pete, you already cashed your over win total on them, so I know you could care less about the Bulldogs from here on out. They already did what they needed to do. I talked about the Georgia-Kentucky game being maybe a reality check for some of these teams. Yeah. Dude, I've got 2 units on Texas A&M rolling tonight. I take it up to 16.5. And, Tim, this is going to be a Heisman boosting game for you. This is going to be a conference boosting game for you, a win total boost for you as well. We talked about strength of schedule in the Bama-Vanderbilt matchup. A&M's played the 9th toughest schedule. Mississippi State, the 89th. And remember, they had a nice last-second win against Arizona State in there as well. The offense for Mississippi State has looked good. Blake Shapen's played well. He's healthy. Fluff Bothwell, my favorite name for running back of all time, is playing well. They've already picked off 7 passes. But again, sometimes we talk about the mindset coming off a game from last week. They should have beaten Tennessee. They should have won that game and then losing it in overtime. Could that be crushing? Yeah, possibly. The other thing I don't like, their starting right tackle, Albert Reese, is out. So that's not going to help Blake Shapen too much. And A&M's got 14 sacks on the year in 4 games. So this is a defense that's living in the backfield week after week. And Mississippi State has yet to have a bye. This is going to be their 6th game in 6 weeks. I don't know. Reality. I think Mississippi State finally remembers, oh, hey, our win total was only 3.5. They got 4. If they end the season with 5, that's certainly a possibility. The rest of their schedule is brutal. Yeah. But I think going to Kyle Field here is going to be too much for them. Oh. My 3rd 2-unit play of the week, guys. What the hell is that?
I don't know what's going on here, especially with our records this year.
Especially with mine.
Let's do it.
I had the Houston-Cincinnati game when I was or the Houston-Colorado game when I was in Disney. I should have just stopped there and hit the 1. But yeah, apparently I'm just all left up and, out of coffee. I don't know. I just think this is, another reality check game here. I think Georgia rolls. I think A&M rolls. Yeah. I think all of Tim's bets take a bump in the right direction for him. It's up to 16.5 where I believe it currently is. Don't go to 17. You don't want to have a push potentially, but the backdoor thing is always out there with a spread this big, but yeah, man.
Reality maybe. Yeah. I mean,
that's what I think.
Normalization. I mean, it's been a weird year. It's been difficult to bet some of these games. There's been a lot of bizarre things happening, especially with the points. I usually have a pretty good feel by now of what people are going to score. I don't, and that's weird. But I think it's got to normalize at some point. It's got to become what it's supposed to be, right? Which you would expect a team like A&M to absolutely roll here, right? Thank you, Mississippi State. Good year for them. Honestly, at the end of the day, they cannot win another game. Nobody expected that. They played well. Hats off. Good year, but this ain't your place, man. You're gonna get throttled, and I love that bet. I'd lay those points all day long. So that's excellent. So yeah, that's what I would expect. A&M's gonna kill them. I mean, over and over, it's like 55.5. It's like, it's too big of a number because I don't know what Mississippi State's going to do. Although I think it's probably leaning over, but who knows? But,
yeah, I would agree with that. Tim, you're the A&M guy in this little group here. What thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Keep it rolling, A&M. Hopefully Marcel will get up there. Maybe I'd like to see him have another 100-yard running game. Maybe get a couple passing touchdowns with a running touchdown. Keep no turnovers. Just keep his touchdown to turnover ratio looking good. like we said, we talked about the other day, he's got to catch up with Mendoza and Dante Moore up there in Oregon. So, yep, keep my Heisman bet looking good. So hopefully sooner or later they start talking about him more, because they're not talking about him at all. Which I really can't believe. Look at some of the numbers he's put up, but hopefully it's another national televised game.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling into that Texas game at the end of the year. That'll be on everyone's set. If they can win all those games, they have to give it to them, or at least invite them to New York, and then we'll see what happens from there. But
Jim, I have a question for you. Pete had mentioned earlier about you changing your FSU homer for next week. Would you possibly change that to A&M homer? Because you have I'm just saying, with your 11 futures bets involving Texas A&M, I just thought maybe a name change at the bottom, like Pete said, is a solid idea.
Well, it wouldn't be a homer.
You can't keep that one up there after this week.
You got Marcel homer,
especially if your team wins.
Fine. Yeah, I mean a Marcel homer. Yeah, I don't care what Aggie homer. I don't care what you call it, but I think if you're going to bet against FSU, like Pete said, I don't know how you can put FSU homer as your.
Especially if they win, doesn't care how you cash the ticket.
And God forbid dominate this tonight and actually really win big tonight, man, that's got to come down. That's not, you can't keep that up.
Well, hey, if they do that, they're going to show me something. We always say we know our teams, right?
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
So do you want to talk about the Western Kentucky money line sprinkle you gave out there, Darren?
Really? Yeah, there we go. Look at that nice looking goatee. Yeah, I mean, we on Thursday's show, I was like, yeah, I think Western Kentucky was the better team. I did watch a lot of that game. But to be fair, that was kind of a lucky hit because, as we had talked about before we started here, Delaware had 2 key turnovers and missed a last-second 42-yard field goal to send this game in overtime. So if you rolled with that play, congrats. But there was more than a fair amount of luck involved there. So, yeah, I mean, we'll take a win whenever here on this show, I guess, especially given my record to start the season. But, yeah,
right.
Yeah, Western Kentucky, the money line weekday sprinkle, I guess, is hit because, of course, we have another one today. Because
let's keep the sprinkles coming.
Like
another money line sprinkle.
All right, for you adventurous guys who may have hit on anything Thursday or Friday, I'm gonna roll with Purdue here on the money line. I think the spread is somewhere around 8.5, 9, 9.5, depending on where you shop. But you can get almost 3-1 on the money line here. We're kind of down on Illinois, and while they did show out a little bit against Duke, Duke is not anything like anybody thought they should be. We saw maybe what Illinois looked like when they went to Indiana. They did pull out that last-second win against USC, so maybe there's a little bit of a letdown there. I remember last year Purdue was god-awful, and they only lost 50-49 at Illinois. They tried to go for 2 to win the game and did not get it. This is a much better Purdue team here. Do I expect them to win? I don't know if I would expect them to win, but everything is ripe for a little money line sprinkle. So if you're ahead and you got a little money, what time is this game even at? Noon? All right. So if you guys hit on anything Thursday or Friday night and you want to sprinkle a little half unit on something ridiculous, give Purdue a look, man. I don't know, Pete, you're the Big Ten guy. I don't know what your thoughts are. I know you're kind of anti-Illinois as well, but are you enough pro Purdue to somewhat maybe agree with that pick?
I'm not pro either team, so at the end of the day, I could see that happening. I mean, the over/under is 54.5. I actually thought about going over on this just because of last year's scoring, and Purdue's a better team, so I would expect. But then again, the way I'm going at it, it'll probably end up to be a 20-14 game. But that would not shock me at all. I think Illinois is very hot and cold. I think that they could absolutely get beat here. Would not shock me a bit. So. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty reasonable, logical sprinkle. I think it makes some sense here. I think it definitely could happen.
Yeah, I just, if you're playing these are probably like half unit plays max. I mean, yesterday's Western Kentucky was only getting 3. It wasn't an insane money line play by any stretch of the imagination. So maybe on those lesser ones, if you're feeling frisky or have a little extra sprinklage in your bankroll, go for it. But usually, there's a reason these teams are severe plus money
Yeah,
because it
there's a
usually
reason for
doesn't
that.
work out. So for all these, and we're going to give out, and Tim, you did tell us pre-show there will be multiple graphics with your dome and Pete's
Oh yeah,
dome.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, all right. So, because I don't want to be the only one putting
Money line
myself out there
sprinkle.
picking ridiculous underdogs, but we'll
Why
do it.
not?
Tim
We
was
should all
like, "I
have
need
one.
your money line sprinkle of the week." I'm like, "I'll get it to you." Like 5 minutes later, I'm like, "F it, let's go Purdue, baby."
I was going to say, going back to the prior game here, I would not mind an FSU money line at home. I would not mind that. I would not mind that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. I'll have to get those graphics up for next week, and you can see them on YouTube. So if you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see all my
Guys. It is
lovely
9:40 in the
graphics.
morning. Who wants to look at that? Come on. I don't even want another cup of coffee now. Jeez.
All right. RPO segment. Who wants to start it off? We got Iowa State plus 1.5 at Cincinnati. What you thinking?
I'll jump on that one real quick. Over under 55.5 on that one. I took a look at it. I mean, I think it's likely an under. Cincinnati's offense has been inconsistent once again, because I said that they'll score 50, but I don't expect that to happen. I think it will be a closer game. I think it will be under that number. So I'm leaning that direction, not playing it, but I would not be surprised if it was under that number. Actually, maybe handily under that number.
I would take Cincy all day long. Iowa State just lost 2 of their starting corners for the year.
Yep.
Brendan Sorsby, like Pete said, has been inconsistent, but when he's on, he's pretty on. This is a night game at Nippert Stadium. I would take Cincinnati all day here.
All right, Clemson minus 14 at North Carolina. I'm going to run with Clemson. I'll take it.
This is the toilet bowl. I wouldn't watch this game with a gun to my head. I called the Belichick thing before the season even started. That's a dumpster fire that was always going to happen. And Clemson's burning and sinking at the same time, too. Both of these teams, I think both of them need a coaching change immediately. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, this is not even worth watching to me. This is 2 garbage teams.
I will go a step further, and I would rather watch a 20-minute repeating loop of a monkey taking a dump than watching this, and not just a regular dump. Like the monkey's kind of constipated, and he's really angry that he can't take a dump, and he's just repeatedly punching himself in the head in an effort to get the dump out.
That'll be Belichick on the sideline.
I know if this is the only game on, I'm
doing something else.
Exactly. Yeah, no interest in this at all.
Kansas State plus 5.5 at Baylor. I like Baylor. For some reason, after the first couple of weeks, I just like the way they look. I'd probably run with Baylor on this one.
I would lean Kansas State here. Dylan Edwards did come back last week, and Kansas State certainly looked a lot better offensively, and Baylor's defense is kind of bad. Pete, I don't know what the total is here, but an over
high.
Would be a consider. Yeah, it's probably high, but
I'm saying I would have considered over. It's 61.5, which to me is just too high. If it was
that might be too high. Yeah,
mid 50s, I would consider it. This is just too high.
Boise State plus 21 at Notre Dame. Your boys
Over.
there. What are you thinking?
Over, nothing else. I still don't trust Notre Dame's defense. Yeah, I wouldn't play this one either. But again, this is kind of like maybe like a playoff eliminator game of sorts. We know if Notre Dame loses, they're not going.
Yep.
And like we talked about earlier, in a game like this, where Boise State is kind of well respected after last year, Notre Dame probably needs to cover this as well. So yeah, another big. I mean, they ran a fake punt when they were up like 30 points against Arkansas. Yeah, they're going to need to. I would take Notre Dame because they need to cover. But with Notre Dame's defense, I mean, if this was like 49 to 27 or something, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. I would lean Notre Dame in the over.
I mean, it's a big number, over under 62.5, but still, could they clear that? Quite possibly they could. My confidence level is not high, but I think that over, I'm leaning that direction, is probably in play. I do expect Notre Dame to score a bunch at home, so we'll see what Boise can do. But yeah, I think it'll be a pretty high scoring game, at least on the Notre Dame side.
All right, Virginia plus 7 at Louisville. I'm going to run to the window with Louisville on this one. I like Louisville here. Aaron.
Yeah, I do too. Virginia coming off that big double overtime win against FSU. Who knows what they're going to be like or what they have left in the tank. Haven't been fully impressed with Miller Moss, but the defense has played actually a lot better than I thought. The running backs are remotely healthy, but they both should be able to go this week. So, yeah, I mean, I would look for a 6.5, but I would still lay the 7 with Louisville here.
Yeah, I think it'll be a game similar to what we watched last year. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So 61.5, I think, over-under is in play. Once again, not playing it, but I am definitely leaning on the over here. I think this could be a very high-scoring, interesting, fun game to watch, I think. If this game's at the same time as some of this other garbage, I'll probably watch this. So, anyway.
We got Washington minus 5.5 at Maryland. I'd run with Washington on this one. Any thoughts, Pete?
Same. I think they're going to be pissed off. I think they're going to come out and fire the ball all over the goddamn place. So over-under is 53.5. I mean, I was seriously considering the over here just because what I think Washington themselves will do. So, yeah, I would take Washington and lay those points all day.
Darren?
Yeah, it's Washington or nothing. There's just something about Maryland I don't trust yet. If they ball out today and prove me wrong, so be it. But I'm not putting my money on either side here. I'm running away.
Michigan State plus 12 at Nebraska. I'm passing on this one. Darren, any thoughts?
Michigan State or nothing for me. I just think that's too many points for Nebraska to be laying here. But not an actual bet. Not even really like a strong lean. But if you're like, bro, you have to pick this game. All right, I'm putting like the smallest unit I can think of on Michigan State.
I mean, for my futures bet, I need Nebraska to win this game, which I think they will do. Now, they're going to cover that number. It's like 11 and a half or whatever it is now. 12 there. It's 11 and a half here. Yeah, it's I don't think they'll cover that number. I think Michigan State will keep it close. But I do think Nebraska will win this game. They better, for my sake, or is another bet down the crapper.
Texas Tech minus 12.5 at Houston. I'm leaning Houston. I'm probably going to run with Houston. I like those points at home. I don't know, Darren, what do you think?
I agree. This was almost the money line sprinkle of the week, but I didn't want to go too crazy here. I mean, I only watched Houston one time in that Colorado game. I like what I saw, but again, that's Colorado. Texas Tech, much different animal here. But I agree with you, man. That might be too many points. I would lean Houston here as well.
Yeah, I almost played over-under is only 51.5, which I think is light on this game, to be honest with you. I think I'm heavily leaning on the over. I still might play it. I'm not sure, but yeah, I do kind of like Houston at home for sure. So I think I like that. I like taking the points with Houston at home as well. So this is an interesting game to me.
And we got Duke minus 3 at California. Pass. Hard pass. Dan, what do you think?
I would take California here if you wanted another money line sprinkle possibility. Duke traveling across the country hasn't really looked like their little transfer quarterback that they paid like $4 million or $8 million for or whatever. Not lived up to it so far. I don't get why Duke is a favorite here. Yeah, I would take Cal. I mean, if it drops to 2.5 because a lot of Cal money comes in, I would just screw it, do the money line. If you can still get the 3, yeah, I would take the 3 here. I think Cal wins this game outright.
Peter?
Yeah, as I said, I really don't care. At this game, I think they're both not very good teams, and I don't really care. So I'm out.
You'll get brutal honesty on this show, people.
Yes, that is true. All right. Pete, let's round it up. What do we got this week from you?
Yeah, a loss already, which I don't want to talk about. But anyway, so we've got that BYU West Virginia game scoring that I didn't expect. So that's a loss. Air Force Navy under 52.5, leaning into the Service Academy, kind of beat the crap out of each other approach. And then Michigan, Wisconsin under 43.5, which will probably bite me in the ass because obviously as a blue here, I'd love to see them score 40 points or something. That ain't going to happen. So going on that under 1 unit, 43.5.
All right. Speaking of Friday night losses, I too, the Mormons screwed me over last night. But I also have Miami minus 4.5 over Florida State, Penn State minus 25.5 over UCLA. And I got Alabama big over Vanderbilt minus 10.5. Darren.
Yeah, my picks on the year deserve their own bronze ass cheek award. But anyway, at least we've already surpassed the win total from last week with a 2-unit win, San Diego State. Beating Colorado State. But for today, I got 2 units, Georgia minus 20.5 over Kentucky, Texas minus 4.5 over Florida, Bama minus 10.5 over Vandy. That plus 123 is taking advantage of the profit boost on DraftKings. And tonight's game, 2 units, Texas A&M laying 14.5 over Mississippi State.
All right, well, that'll wrap it up. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you're listening and you'd like to watch, you can catch us on YouTube. You can like and subscribe, leave a comment, leave your bets. Again, thank you for listening, and we will catch you guys next week.
Good luck, everyone.